Hello, subscribers. It has been quite a while since I've posted on my YouTube channel for my artwork. The reason being, I've put my efforts into focusing on getting my own place again. And if you don't know, I was living in a camper in the warmer months and living with my mom and her husband in the summer month or the winter months. It'll be 3 years in May that I moved home after I got divorced or split up. I got legally divorced in February last year. But since the pandemic, if anyone's been listened to me carry on about everything, I lost my art studio back then. And I had been working very hard and built up quite a momentum for myself. So we ended up having to move on an emergency basis because our building sold simultaneously with the advent of the pandemic, and everything shut down, and we were forced to move within this span of a week or two. And at that time I was a practicing artist, making art daily, and I had a beautiful art studio. And I lost all that, and I lost my bearings as an artist as a result, although last summer I turned my camper into a little art studio, and that's what you're seeing in the videos previous to this one. Well, as I say, I put my focus on getting my own place, and I have been blessed with a beautiful new place with beautiful windows. It is nighttime here, so you can't see the light, but in the daytime the light is gorgeous. So I just wanted to show my subscribers, my followers, people who are watching this video or keeping up with what I'm doing, I wanted to show you my new art studio. This would typically be a dining room space if this was a family living here, but it's just me. And therefore I have space to have a dining room, space, like somewhere to eat. But I don't need all of this. And I have a den for my TV living room area and a bedroom. Just give you a little quick glance at both of those spots. Okay, so there you go. I'm not gonna reveal my entire life, but so this is my art studio. Let me zoom out here. And it is wonderful. What is really throwing me off though, in terms of trying to figure out where to go as a painter, is the space that I have makes this easel, which previous to moving here seemed really big to me, and these canvases I was using seemed really big, but now I see it's possible for me to expand. I have an enormous amount of space. I could be painting even bigger canvases. So that's kind of exciting, and that's where my mind's going. And so it's just really exciting because with my regular day job, this is sustainable for me, but I haven't been creating any artwork in a while, and having a space like this compared to what I've been using since 2020, it's almost like I feel like I need to pinch myself, like it's too good to be true. But it is true, because if you let the good things in, the good things will come, and this is one of those good things. So what I wanted to do tonight, when I moved back home, I cut all of my important canvases, or important, like my favorites, off their frames and rolled it all up in a big heap and brought it with me. And I thought, I have no idea if I'll ever have an opportunity for my paintings to see the light of day, because what you may not know is when I first moved up here, though I could live in my parents' house, my stepfather did not want me there. There was no free bedroom, no free bed. I had to sleep on the couch in the living room where they watched TV morning, noon, and night. I scrambled real quick, and by I think June, I had purchased a camper. And so I tried to turn that into some sort of living space, and it turned out to be pretty amazing in and of itself, and you will see parts of it in my previous videos. But I have moved forward since then. But at that time, I lived in my car. I slept in my car, I should say. From May 2022, I think it was, on up to just last summer. I've been on this journey, but at the very beginning, I would stay in my parents' house as required, but I would sleep in my car because I could not stand the noise of the TV and the proximity of other people, and I was just in a very, want to be alone kind of state. So I slept in my car. Then I got a camper, and I slept in my camper. And then I got the chance to have a bedroom at my mom's house, so I slept in the bedroom, and then my camper. But now I finally got my own space. But the last time I had my own place, I moved home just kind of at the drop of a hat to come help my mom. Turns out she really needed my help. Probably wouldn't be here if I didn't do that, and I'm thankful that I heeded the call, so to speak. And I'm talking a lot because I'm nervous, so what I'm trying to say is this pile of canvas right here is all my favorites that I took off the frames, and I balled them all up. I didn't know if I'd ever have a time or place where I could ever allow them to see the light of day. But, excuse me, you hear my knees cracking? Sorry, that's kind of a gross sound, but whatever. I have a little trouble with my knees, but not too serious. I am 47 after all. So this scarf, so what I'm doing tonight is unveiling my paintings that I had packed away for 3 years now. This scarf is a scarf one of my nieces made at the craft college in Fredericton. I believe my niece Michaela made it, but I'm not sure. It might have been my niece Abigail. I've got 2 nieces who went to that school. One quit and one didn't. And they both had their reasons, and they're both amazing creative people in and of themselves regardless. So here we go. I don't even know what's in here. It's going to take a little effort to unfurl. And I may never be able to, unless I stretch them really properly on canvases, they might never get hung up again, but they might. First one. Yes, here we go. I painted that. That is a painting of my neighbor's daughter. She took the photo, and she's quite photogenic. And when I saw it, I was like, can I please paint that? And it symbolized the feelings I was feeling, because I felt like I just needed to escape, and I kept standing at the window and looking out the window, and just my heart was just yearning for more. And I guess this future that I'm currently living is what I was being called towards. So that's one. That's pretty cool. And everyone's going to be surprised because I forget what I put in here. Okay, yeah, this one. This one's called Dear Irvine, Kiss My Goldfish. And that's backlash towards the Irving Corporation for the concentration of ownership of the print media in New Brunswick. And I believe they've tried to sell their media empire since then. I'm not sure how successful they were. But it was also an homage to Gustav Klimt. I love his paintings. So the original is called Goldfish, and it's much better than the one I made, but there we go. Sorry for the noise. This is an unorthodox event that's happening here. And this next one is on my youngest child. They had wore a hoodie with cat ears, and they just had this moment where they were kind of like drifted off into their own imagination, it seemed. And so I snapped a picture. Sorry, it's not really coming. It's hard to see. It's actually way better than what this angle is suggesting. Anyway, hold on. Let me hold it with my foot. I need 2 hands to do this, but I can't hold the camera and do this. I should have had the tripod set up, but it's off the cup. So, there it is. Squished up. There we go. Anyway, that's my youngest child. And we were in Portland, Maine at the time on vacation. It was lovely. Okay, and then the next one, remember, I have a penchant for moths. This one is a painting of a moth. I love it. These are certainly some of my favorites, so I'm glad I held on to them. It's kind of fun to see them all crumpled up like paper, though. Like, I know it's not a great way to treat your canvas, but when I moved home, I was not feeling very well, and I gave most of my belongings to my kids. And what I couldn't fit in my car, I gave away or left behind. So these paintings were my last, like, a desperate effort, and I had no idea what was going to happen to me when I was cutting these off their frame. I remember that moment vividly. I was terrified, but I was just follow your heart, follow your heart, follow your heart. And my heart told me to go home, so that's what I did. So this is a painting of the Three Sisters lamp in St. John, New Brunswick. And the story behind it is the front panels are red and the back panels are white, which you cannot see in this painting. But if a ship was coming in to the shoreline in the city of St. John and they saw white, that meant they were off course. And if they were coming in and could only see red, that meant they were on course. And I thought that was cool. And it has double meaning for me because I have 2 sisters. So we were always 3 sisters. And there's Nicola. Hi, Nicola. Okay, what's next? Oh, this one. This is a picture of a statue. It's almost impossible to do this with one hand. This one is called We Never Fall Down, or We Never Fall, something like that. It's a statue from a tombstone at a cemetery in the city of St. John, and I kind of put my own spin on it. It's hard to see it in this light, but that's okay. It still looks kind of cool in its own way. And the title was inspired by a band that I like in one of their songs. This one is not my painting. It is a painting, I hope I can get it out. My very, very good friend Scott gave to me, and I love it. It's like a woman sitting in a chair, red background. Let's see, bring it over here. I should turn the light on, but I like this soft lighting, so I'm not going to. Anyway, she's sitting in a chair with red background, topless, short hair. It's beautiful. I love this painting so much. He did that in university. He was studying to become an art teacher, and he succeeded, and that's one of the paintings that emerged from that time in his life, and he gave it to me. This one is really funny. I started doing my own portrait, and then my youngest kid came upstairs to my studio space at that time and didn't like what I was doing. So they took the brush out of my hand and finished the painting the way they wanted it to be finished. So that's what I look like. It's hilarious. They even did a little hand. And there's my spiral tattoo. I guess there's like a movie where a guy has a little tiny hand that kind of sticks up. And my sister said, laughed her head off because she says that's what it looks like. And anyway, it's classic. It's so good. But the best part is my kid was only like 5, 6 years old at the time. They just grabbed that paintbrush like they'd been painting their whole life. Now this is interesting, especially after everything that's happened to me in the last 5 years, where I feel like I had some sort of visitation from my grandfather, who was a World War II veteran. And I painted this many, many, many years ago. I don't even know what year. It must have been 2006 or so. And it all came to me like in a flash, and I threw it on the canvas and realized when it was done, it ended up looking like a portrait of my grandfather when he was young. And then I started to piece it together. It was about him as a soldier suffering from PTSD in the war. And so that inkling came to me years ago. And then that same inkling really affected me when I was struggling in 2020. And I was talking about this with a friend of mine this morning, how she felt like she feels her grandmother haunted her steps one day because she was in severe danger. And I said, I completely believe you, because I had the same experience with my grandfather, only he died before I was even born. And so that painting came to me, and it was like a premonition of things to come. So in recent times, I feel like my grandfather haunted my steps in a very visceral way to get me to wake up from the stupor I was in, where I was not being very kind to myself, to put it mildly, trying to make everyone else around me happy, and I was pretty much dying. But things are much better now, so that's not something I want to focus on. Now this is another one that's all wrinkled. Hold on. Now this is also inspired by Gustav Klimt, but it was originally called Helen of Troy, but it evolved in 2020 based on some personal circumstances that arose. But I don't want to get too involved because my kids and I are not yet on good terms, and I feel like it would upset them for me to discuss it, but at the same time, this is my life. Maybe one of my biggest problems is I wasn't quite grown up enough to be a good mom. I hope I was a good mom, but at the moment, my kids don't think I was a good mom. And this painting represents one of the reasons why, because mom wasn't necessarily done with sowing her wild oats, so to speak. So, what I'm trying to say is, in a nutshell, my sexuality isn't something that I feel comfortable discussing, but this painting represents said sexuality in a very big way. It's hard to see it all wrinkled up, but it's not exactly appropriate for me to discuss this at length due to the feelings of my children. They've seen this painting, they've lived with this painting, they've watched this painting evolve, and I don't think they would like it too much, but I love it. It originally was a man with red hair, and that evolves to a black man with wild afro hair, and that has always ever been me. And it's funny because that's more like what my hair looks like now than ever, because I've got gray silver streaks all through it. And yeah, Gustav Klimt inspired. Nicola loves the art. Nicola hardly ever comes out of the room when he's come out to sit on my paintings, so I guess that's a good thing. Hey, babe. Hey. He's a really good cat. Shout out to McCaffrey, my other cat, who went missing. We love you, we miss you. So the unfurling of these paintings is me sort of allowing myself to take a little piece of the past with me into the future that I am now living, and represents pieces of me. So this is my new studio. These are the windows that will shed beautiful light in the daytime. This is a place where I could have extremely large canvases and really do something brand new as an artist here. So I wanted to show this to you. I'm not gonna promise to upload anything again anytime soon, but you never know. I'm going to figure out what step to take next, but this is a huge step in feeling like I've got my life back. It is so amazing to me. I can't express my gratitude deeply enough for all the different components that fell into place to allow me to have a studio again. And it is so wonderful. So that's my update. Sorry it's been a while. I appreciate you sticking around and keeping in touch in whatever way. And I will be back. I'm not sure when, and I'm not sure in what capacity or what project I'll have on the go, but it's a brand new day. Because the last time I was painting on this, it was in a little tiny room, and I was so... unfortunately, it's got a little dent right there. I might have to try to fix that. I had this in my camper, and I was working on it. It's a photo of some roses, and it seemed so big. And in this space, it seems so small. So it's just really funny. So I've got to kind of recalibrate my thinking as a painter to accommodate the space. My environment affects me greatly when I paint. If I'm upset or uncomfortable or feel like just any type of outside force, I can't focus to paint well. But when I can focus to paint, I have a great time. So that's where I'm at, and I'm pretty happy. Couldn't ask for more tonight, that is for sure. So much love, and take care. I'll be back.